Welcome to Future Proof Your Thinking, an explainer series from 108 Growth Partners, where we give you the tools you need to thrive in this crazy, changing world. Today, we're going to unlock a superpower that, honestly, every single one of us needs right now: strategic thinking.
Does this sound familiar? You're trying to make plans, maybe for your career or your business, but it feels like the ground is constantly shifting under your feet. Every choice feels huge and uncertain, and just keeping up feels like a full-time job. If you feel that way, trust me, you are not alone. We're 108 Growth Partners, and our goal with this whole series is pretty simple. We want to share what we've learned from decades of shaping strategy inside some of the world's biggest and most complex organizations. So we're not just pulling theories out of a textbook. These are practical, road-tested tools that are designed to help you cut right through the noise and start acting with real confidence. So why is strategic thinking suddenly so important? Well, it's because the world we all thought we knew has fundamentally changed. We are now living in what a lot of experts are calling a BANI world. BANI. It's an acronym that finally gives a name to that feeling of chaos so many of us are experiencing. It stands for brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible. Let's break down what each of those really feels like. First up, B is for brittle. This describes all those systems that look really strong on the surface, but can just shatter without any warning. Think about the global supply chain. One ship gets stuck sideways in a canal, and suddenly, shelves are empty thousands of miles away. That right there is brittleness in action. A is for anxious, which, let's be honest, is the perfectly natural human response to living in that brittle world. When it feels like everything could break at any moment, we all feel constantly on edge. It leads to this massive information overload, and it forces us to make these reactive, short-term decisions just to stay afloat. Next, N is for nonlinear. And this is where cause and effect just get totally disconnected. Think about it. A company can spend millions of dollars on a huge marketing campaign that goes absolutely nowhere, while a single viral TikTok video that took 10 minutes to make can sell out an entire product line overnight. The old rules of A leads to B just don't apply anymore. And finally, I is for incomprehensible. We are literally drowning in data, but we are starved for clarity. There is so much conflicting information and just pure noise out there that it's basically impossible to get the full picture. And yet, we still have to make these huge, critical decisions. So here's the real takeaway from all this. Trying to navigate this new BANI world with old maps, with yesterday's logic, is just a recipe for disaster. The playbooks that used to work, they're pretty much obsolete now. But that chaos doesn't have to win. It really doesn't. There's a way to build your own compass, a skill that lets you not just survive in this new world, but actually thrive in it. And that solution, that's your new superpower: strategic thinking. Now, don't let the name intimidate you, okay? This isn't some abstract idea that's just for CEOs in a boardroom. It is a practical, accessible skill that absolutely anyone can learn and use. In your career, your business, even your personal life. At its very core, strategic thinking does one thing better than anything else. It gives you the clarity to actually see the path forward and the confidence to walk it. It helps you cut through all that anxiety and noise to make choices that are decisive and effective. So what is strategic thinking, really? Well, it breaks down into two main abilities. The first part is what we like to call the art of seeing. Seeing is all about one thing: finding the dots. It's about building the habit of looking around you with real intention. It's about gathering up the raw material you need for good decisions instead of just reacting to whatever fire is burning right in front of you. And here's the cool part. These dots are everywhere, just waiting for you to find them. They're in the stories of your colleagues, the lessons from your own past projects, both the wins and the failures, and of course, in hard data. The very first step is just to train yourself to actively look for them, to become a collector of valuable information. But just collecting a bunch of dots isn't enough. In a BANI world, that can actually create even more noise. The real magic happens in the second part of your superpower, the power of synthesis. So if seeing is about finding the dots, synthesis is all about connecting the dots. This is the so what step. It's where you take all that raw information you've gathered and you start to weave it into a picture that makes sense, an actual understanding of what's going on. This quote from Helen Keller just says it all. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Seeing, finding the dots, that's sight. But synthesis, connecting them into a pattern that means something, that's vision. And without vision, sight is pretty much useless. Okay, so let's map this out. How do you actually put this all into practice on your own strategic journey?
It really just boils down to these two steps. First, you have to acknowledge the reality of the Banny world we're all in. Don't fight it, just understand it. And second, consciously start practicing your superpower. Use seeing to find the dots, and then use synthesis to connect them into a clear vision for yourself. So now that you get the what and the why, you're probably asking, okay, but who's actually good at this? What do great strategic thinkers do differently? Well, that is exactly what we are going to cover next time as we dive deep into the 5 essential traits that define a true strategic thinker. You are not going to want to miss it. To keep building your superpower, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer. And hey, if this helped you find even a little bit of clarity today, share it with a friend or colleague who might also be trying to navigate their own Bonnie world. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.